So today we're going to read a true story. We know that means it's nonfiction. The story is called Lost and Found Cat. It's the true story of Kunkush's incredible journey. That's him. And we can already tell that he is much, much loved. Lost and Found Cat, the true story of Kunkush's incredible journey. Late one night in August of 2015, a car driven by a smuggler snuck out of the city of Mosul in the country of Iraq. The smuggler's passengers were a mother, her 4 daughters, and her 1 son. Their father had recently died. Sura, the mother, had paid the smugglers to help her family flee the country. Mosul had become too dangerous. A few days earlier, the family had gotten ready to leave. Since they could only bring what they could carry, they had packed just 1 bag full of food and water. They would buy clothes later. But Sura had decided they could not leave without their beloved cat Kunkush. Sura prayed that the cat, hidden in a small carrier, would stay quiet. If the smuggler heard the Kunkush, he would make her pay a great deal more money. There's the carrier. 2 hours later, the car stopped and they were told to get out. Another smuggler met them and led them on foot through the forest, over mountains, stopping only to eat and to sleep in the woods. Sura feared for her children, Rahib, 18, Hakim, 16, Maib, 11, Ahab, 10, Ansab, 9. But they saw it as an adventure, often singing as they walked during their 3-day journey. Sura and her son Hakim took turns carrying Kunkush at the back of the line, so that if the cat meowed, the smuggler would not hear him. Whenever they stopped to rest, Sura took Kunkush behind some trees to let him out and to feed him. On the 4th day, they reached a Kurdish village where another smuggler was waiting to take them to Istanbul, Turkey, in a bus. While the smuggler drove, the family had to be on the lookout for patrols trying to catch them. The family stayed in the city for 2 weeks, moving from one apartment to another. At least Kunkush could wander freely inside. Finally, it was time to cross the Aegean Sea to Greece. The family boarded another bus and drove to a place called Izmir on the Turkish coast. Then they walked 3 hours along the beach until they were told to put on their life jackets. The Greek island of Lesbos was 6 miles across the water. Kunkush and his family were crammed aboard a flimsy rubber boat. It was meant to only carry 25 people, but there were more than 60 men, women, and children on this boat, plus 1 secret cat. As soon as the overcrowded boat launched, it began taking on water because it was too heavy. From the shore, people shouted at the passengers to throw their belongings overboard to make the boat lighter, but most refused. Sura tried to hold Kunkush's carrier above the water until a wave drenched them all. There's the secret cat. The sinking boat had to return to shore. As a crush of people got off, Kunkush's carrier door was broken. Determined to make the crossing, Sura told her kids to stay aboard. Wow, that looks quite scary. As the boat launched again, this time with fewer passengers, Sura was scared because only her son Hakim could swim. But her daughters were unconcerned, enjoying the ride in the sun after weeks of hiding. The 3-hour crossing to Lesbos felt like it flew by thanks to their excitement. Volunteers in Greece waited on the shore to help hundreds of refugees arriving every day. As soon as the boat reached the beach, panicky, shivering passengers scrambled to get off. Hakim splashed ashore with Kunkush and put the carrier on a dry island, and then he hurried back to help his mother off the boat. So there he is, He's trying to get the cat, and then he's going to go back and help his mom. Wet and frightened, Kunkush pushed his way out of the broken door of the carrier. He quickly disappeared into the forest like a deer. Oh my goodness. Look, he was so scared, and the latch was broken, and he's like, I'm getting out of here, guys. While the rest of the boat passengers were loaded onto a bus to continue the rest of their journey, the family refused to leave without their cat. Several volunteers helped them look for Kunkush. They searched for hours. At last, they had to give up. The heartbroken family needed to leave, taking the next step toward their new home. Look, she's calling, Kunkush, Kunkush. In the little fishing village on Lesbos, near where Kunkush's family had arrived, there lived a colony of island cats. No one owned them, but fishermen kept them well fed. I spy someone. A few days after Kunkush's family had left, volunteers noticed the white cat hanging around the local cafes. The white cat's fur was filthy and matted. He looked like he was starving. The local cats seemed to know he was a stranger. They hissed and they spat at him and chased him away. Oh, how scary. He's a brand new cat in a brand new land, and he's scared, and now all the cats are being mean to him. One of the volunteers, Amy, told her friend and fellow volunteer Ashley about the cat she had seen. Could this white cat be the one the family had lost? After questioning villagers and searching the island, Amy and Ashley found the white cat and took him to a local vet. Dr. Constantina shaved the cat's matted, filthy fur. She gave him his shots and other medicines, but this cat needed a name for now. Dr. Constantina suggested Diaz to give him strength. Diaz is the Greek name for Zeus, the king of the ancient Greek gods. You know what? In the story, I really like it. There's so many people helping all along the way. The friends took Diaz back to Amy's apartment. He shaved his fur. His shaved fur was still full of sand and bugs. Amy bathed and scrubbed him until he was clean. 5 minutes after his bath, the exhausted cat collapsed face down, mid-meow, and slept. Oh. Diaz stayed with Amy for over a month. Often he prowled around his apartment, yowling loudly. Amy believed he was looking for his family. Reunite Diaz. Please click here to donate. Again, more helpers. Amy and her friends were determined to reunite Diaz with his family. But where were they? Volunteers created flyers, and Amy's friend Michelle back in the United States made a Facebook page for him. People contributed money to help pay for his medical care and travel. Before long, news stories about the lost cat appeared all around the world. Millions of people saw the videos, articles, and Facebook updates about Diaz. He had become famous. The whole world is talking about this little cat. Amy was fairly sure that Diaz's family had left Greece. Many of the refugee families had traveled to Germany. Since Amy's time in Lesbos was ending, she made plans to take Diaz to Germany. She and Diaz flew to Berlin, where a British couple named Emma and Simon had agreed to take care of him and to continue the search. If his family could not be found after a year, they would adopt him. There he is in the airport. And then, on Valentine's Day, the family saw their lost cat on the news. The oldest daughter, Rehab, had learned some English. She contacted Amy, her friend, and her friends through Facebook. Everyone had been looking in the wrong place. The family was living in Norway, not Germany. Rehab told Amy that Diaz's real name was Kunkush. The volunteers arranged a Skype visit. Look. He's on the computer, kind of like all of our Zoom classes. The volunteers arranged a Skype visit. When the family saw the fluffy white cat on the screen, they called Kunkush, and his ears perked up. He started searching for his family. So many smiles. A photographer named Doug in Lesbos in Germany, to show the refugees' story to the world, agreed to fly with Kunkush from Germany to Norway. But when he got to the airport in Berlin, the supervisor behind the counter told him he could not board the plane. "That carrier is too small," she said with a sniff. By this time, the crowd had gathered around Doug and his yowling white cat. Doug pleaded with her. He told her the carrier was the right side. "That carrier is so small, the cat cannot turn around," she snapped. At that moment, Kunkush made a dramatic 180-degree turn inside the carrier. The crowd laughed, and the supervisor grudgingly agreed to allow them onto the plane. Kunkush is like, "Let me on that plane." It's like, I can turn around, and he did it. In Norway, Doug rented a car and drove the 2 hours to the family's new home. They were waiting eagerly for him. So was a team of camera people and reporters. Sura opened the door and blinked into the bright lights of the cameras. Then she burst into tears as Doug placed Kunkush in his arms. "Ma habibi, ma habibi," she murmured. That's Arabic for "my darling." The entire family crowded around their long-lost pet. That is a happy reunion. After 4 months and thousands of miles, Kunkush and his family were finally together in their new home. "We are all safe now," said Sura. And then this is a little bit more about the true story. Look at this. So the cat started over here in Iraq, all the way through Turkey, down to Greece, all the way through Europe, up to Germany, and then all the way up to Norway. And guys, here are some pictures of the real life Kunkush. Poor guy, he looks so sad there. There he is in a carrier. Oh, look how happy the mommy is to get her cat back. Kunkush looks pretty happy there, all settled in. And on the next page, friends, on the next slide, you will see a video of the real life reunion. I don't know about you, but every time I watch it, I have to get tissues because it makes me cry. Happy tears, of course. I hope you guys are all happy, healthy, and safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.